lot that goes into it.
Okay, it's not complicated.
I just mean like there's a lot that goes into it, complex, a lot of things you guys like to run. As the defense as a whole has gotten a grasp of it through as the season has gone on, do you think that's led to kind of some of the better performances that you've seen since the bye week?
Yeah, and what we've had better is more buy-in and attention to detail. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's complex or complicated. It's the same defense that a majority of the NFL teams run, same defense that Coach Saban runs and defense that they run over at UGA. So, it's a defense that ultimately help these guys in the future. But I think what has helped us is guys being accountable and doing their job. If you go back and look at all the explosive plays that we give up, if we could sit down with you and watch tape, you'll see that someone did not do their job. And if they had did their job, then it would have been a gain of nothing or a minimal gain. Wouldn't have gave up an explosive is what I'm saying. So I just think it's been more buy-in, and the coaches have done a better job at putting the burden of responsibility on the players. Hey, get the call, give the call, line up and do your job, execute your job. That's what I think it's been.
How have the guys in your buck group graded out in your eyes this season?
Well, I grade hard, so even if they play well, then now I'm really attention to detail and grading the little things. Did you false step? Did you take the right angle to the ball? Did you communicate pre-snap? Is your alignment right? So it's hard to grade out well with me, but they've been doing better. I like my group because they hold each other accountable. They hold each other accountable, and man, they all try to live up to the standard of what we set in the room, and that's what I like. They play for each other, and when one makes a play, they get excited. There's no individuals in my room. Not saying that there's any individuals on the team, but specifically in my group, I don't. The selfishness, I said it earlier in the year, and that's what I'm proud of the Bucs about.
Coach Jordan was very productive last year in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're getting exactly what you guys had hoped for with him?
I do. He's a leader. He makes plays. He has a variety of different plays. He's had sacks now. We want him to get more sacks. He's got TFLs. He understands the integrity of the defense. He's been in the SEC. So every week we do a lot of changes, and he's able to grasp and understand the changes and then apply them. But you need a guy that's been through it like he has. And he's been a blessing for us. And he's a leader. I love JD. He practices. You ever seen him practice?
No.
You haven't seen him practice? You should come watch him practice. He practices hard every day. So ultimately, that's the standard. So all the other guys practice hard. But,
so with that, this is obviously his only year here.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of guys that are going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
How much of an impact can he make on those guys that are coming back?
He does. Because I can revert back to him like, hey, do you guys remember JD? And I'll show a lot of his tape next year of the way it looks when you do it right. He has a lot of teach tape clips that I'll keep for a long time. Whether it's striking blockers, putting edges on defenses, whether it's slanting inside, running rush games, rushing the passer. He'll be a guy I use as an example for a long time.
Jordan was very complimentary of Arden and kind of his progress. Is he that guy that you feel like is about to take that next step and become the guy of the room going into next year?
He should be. Arden is extremely talented. And when he turns it on, he's on. But I could very well see Arden filling those shoes. He's another guy from the SEC, so he understands about, the importance of going against good competition, and he's went against good competition. But I expect him to develop. He's like a freshman. Coming into this year, he had 3 more years. So I think in a couple more, he'll be ready. He can play.
Anything else for Coach? What do you feel like is your biggest takeaway, the biggest thing you've learned about yourself this year at CU?
On myself, I don't take anything for granted. I try to teach my guys from the ground up, elementary school. We go back to center, over the center is a 0 technique. A shade to the right or left is a shade technique. We call it a shade, or 1. Inside shade of the guard is a 2-eye. So I go back to elementary school. I don't assume that they know anything. That was the biggest thing I take from them. Another thing is kind of trying to make them have a small world but a big understanding. How can I take this material and not dummy it down, but just put it in their terms for a 20-year-old to understand it? A complex scheme, and make it where a 20 or 21-year-old. So that's been a lot of fun for me is teaching. I've learned that I'm a pretty good teacher. And it's only until you get through in the fire and hey, you got to do it. But I did it a lot at Texas A&M, so I was ready for it, but I don't assume anything. I'm going to start from ground zero.
We've seen Kyrie kind of line up at different spots all over the line, just to maybe just maximize his ability to get the best four pass rushers on the field for certain downs. What about him makes you guys so confident that he can rush from different spots in the line?
Well, Kyrie's got to be a complete player, and he knows that. He's got to be firm enough and physical enough to stop strike blockers and stop the run. And that's what he's got to work off during the offseason. You know, he's 220, 25 pounds. I want him at 240, 245, so he can withstand in the run game. But he is a good pass rusher. But he didn't come here just to be a good pass rusher. He got to be a complete football player. Nobody's getting drafted only being a pass rusher, you know, or just stopping the run. So he's got a lot he need to work on during the offseason, putting on weight, being more physical. And he's played more physical. But he is a good pass rusher. He is.
Coach, Leonard and Chaz have earned
And that's been
themselves.
beneficial to us, you know, moving them around in different spots.
Leonard and Chaz have earned themselves some playing time these last few weeks. How have you viewed their progression as the season's gone on?
Chaz has really gotten better. He's waited his turn. He's a great kid. You know, he doesn't complain about the lack of playing time. He just comes and outworks. And that's what I told him. You got to outwork people. You know, when you're a second or third string, you got to do more to jump the first guy. And he's embraced that. And he's a good kid. And Payne has been more consistent. And Payne needs to be more physical in the run game. He knows that. And he needs to, you know, be more productive in the pass. But he's done everything. They've both done everything we've asked them to do. That's all you can ask.
Last question. Thank you, Coach.
Good. Thank you.